What is up, Internet? I know it's been a long time. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Hope you guys ate a bunch of food. I know I took Jalapeno Joe's hot sauce to our Thanksgiving dinner that we went to, and I ate a lot. I got full of food. But anyways, so we have a book review again, finally. And I'm wearing the Steve shirt again because they just announced that they're going to record, and I'm very excited. So we're going to have to bring the Steves to MEAC so I can cop myself one of them CDs. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Because the Steves are awesome. I love the Steves. So today's book is called Freedom Through Memedom. I love this book. It is so awesome. Actually, when me and Jasmine lived in Marion, there was a period of actually the entire winter. Every day, no matter what I was doing, I constantly had the One Great Work Network on. It was on the TV, or if I was in the kitchen, it was on my phone. It was just always on, and that's how I found out about this book, is through the One Great Work Network. So shout out to the One Great Work Network. I'll put the link to that website in the description. As usual, you know how we are, how we do it. So, Freedom Through Memedom. Before we get into the book, I did want to talk about the etymology of memes, right? Where did memes come from? Where did memes come from? So memes, if you break down the etymology of memes, it's me, right? It's selfishness. It's mini-me Satanism, right? Me. That's what a meme is. It's all about me. So this awesome author, Mance Rayder, or I hope I said that right. Mance Rayder, sorry. So Mance Rayder, he put a bunch of memes together. It's a little chaos over here. Beagle Eye Vision, sorry about that, Internet. So he put all these memes together, and they're all memes about freedom, about liberty, about some of them gets into philosophy, gets into the straw man, some of the straw man fallacies. It's just awesome, and like the way he takes you through each meme, it's perfect. It's so in sync. He does a great job. So shout out to Mance. Before I don't say it right. Shout out to Mance Rayder, everybody. Get this book. Again, like all of these books we've done on this channel, I got this book for I think $7 off Amazon, and that's including shipping. So there's no excuse. You can find this book. You can get these books easy. We have access. We have the internet. Get these books. There's no reason you should. And in fact, I showed somebody in Marion this book, and I think they bought a copy of it. I never followed through with it, but I hope they bought a copy of it because it's an awesome book. So, Freedom Through Memedom: The 31-Day Guide to Waking Up to Liberty by Mance. I wrote Rayder. And in my notes I wrote Rayder. Why did I do that? Oh, anyways. So Mance Rayder has created a podcast called Free Man Beyond the Wall. Actually, before I get the notes, I'm going to read this description. Mance grew up in the government-controlled nightmare that is New York City. Ooh, ouch. He left 2 days after graduating high school. He spent a good bit of time in South Florida where he met his wife. In 2005, they moved to the Atlanta metro area, where in 2007 he discovered the Ron Paul Liberty Movement. This school of thought sent him down a rabbit hole of freedom-seeking, culminating in the intellectual move to voluntarist thought. Hell yeah! This radically capitalist school of thought permeates his life and led him to the teachings he now shares on the podcast entitled Free Man Beyond the Wall. In keeping the majority, his podcast to under 20 minutes, interviews being the exception, Mance ensures that you can get a lot of knowledge in a short car ride or a brief walk. This study guide is the logical offshoot of his podcast, in that every lesson can be read in under 5 minutes. Mance's goals is that what you learn in that time will stay with you for the rest of your life. And yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a true sentiment. So he's got this podcast. Rayder discusses. He used to work for a Christian bookstore, and I thought this was really interesting. So he did like. He did the bookkeeping. I forget exactly what he did. He did the bookkeeping at this Christian bookstore, and he noticed that the top-selling books were called daily devotionals. each day would have a Bible verse and a short comment. So Mance decided to use that idea as a means of waking people up to the slavery that exists. To the slavery. Me and Matt Bennett talk about that a lot on his podcast. Waking up to people, the slavery that exists. So on page 5, we have our first direct quote. Taxation is not voluntary, and any action in which you are forced to participate, especially if that act takes what is rightfully yours by labor and natural right, is an act of violence against you, and it is wrong. I mean, day 1 stuff. It's really not rocket science. So then day 2, if you can't do it, nobody can. The author poses some tantalizing questions here. So if, let's say if the fuzz pulls you over, do they have the right to search your vehicle? Do me personally, do I have the right to come into your house and search through every nook and cranny? Do I have the right to come in your house and shoot your dog if I come into your house and I'm scared and I think your dog is going to pose a danger to me? Like, is that right? Or is that a violation of natural law? Is it right or is it wrong? I mean, pretty interesting questions. I mean, thought-provoking questions. And the introduction by the foreword by Scott Horton, he mentions, like, yeah, go ahead and put this book on the back of your toilet, you know, put it on your coffee table. That way when you wake up and you go, instead of reading the newspaper, you should read this book while you're drinking coffee, you know. Start your day off right. So then we're given some homework on page 7. Have some fun today. Seek out someone you are comfortable with and attempt to explain the above truths to them. Be calm and respectful, and have your answers to the objections ready. And I love that. I love that he put be calm and respectful, because I mean, seriously, do that. Go out to your this Christmas dinner. Go out to your Christmas dinner and ask, like, you know, do police officers have the right to pull you over on the side of the road? Do police officers have the right to search your car with dogs, with police dog? You know, do they have the right? It's a simple, like I said, it's a simple, thought-provoking question, and we need to be asking ourselves these questions. 2023, after a scandemic, you can tell people are not asking themselves these questions. It's ridiculous. But moving on. So day 3, free speech is non-negotiable. Yes. And then I skipped a couple days. So when I started writing this book and I was doing notes, but I noticed myself I was literally writing the entire page in my notes. So in the future, when we upgrade in 2024 and we get some better video editing software, get a better computer, I am going to do 31 days of every day I'm going to do a meme of this book, and then I'm going to talk about it and talk about my own my own beliefs and my own opinions about what the meme says, because there really are I don't agree with everything in this book. There are some memes in here that I actually don't agree with, but that's okay, right? You pull the truth out of the book and you weed out the inconsistencies, and that's how you align yourself to the frequency of truth. That's how you get closer to the truth. So, day 4, the enemy is always ready to pounce. And this is another direct quote. To make the statement that many college professors are either Marxist or have Marxist leanings would be news to no one. Yeah. The odds would be news to no one that's paying attention. The odds are that the child sent off to the university today will be assigned a great deal of Marxist writings, including Marx himself. And then he goes on to say that people with this education have a place in their heart for communism and socialism, which, from my own life and talking to people my age, yeah, that is a fact. I have a friend who literally just flat out, he was like, yeah, I'm a communist. And I told him, I was like, you know, that I stole a joke from the TV show Disjointed off Netflix. I said, now that I'm drinking coffee and my throat is nice and lubricated with this, with this coffee, why don't you just reach down my throat and rip my heart out? You know, that's really how I felt. And, yeah, because it's a logical fallacy. I mean, those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it, right? And, I mean, look around today, you know, like, I would say we are definitely repeating history, unfortunately. But yeah, so, and then we get to day 5. Guns are your private property. Am I right, 2AJ Kill? Shout out to 2AJ Kill on YouTube. He's awesome. He is not a smart individual. That's ironic. I don't like saying that. 2AJ Kill, you really are a smart individual. I think you're awesome. Keep doing your work. And congratulations on your new baby. Here's another direct quote. Straight from the book. Straight from the book. This society is a bunch of indoor cats. This society is a bunch of indoor cats. People that have no idea how to defend themselves if put in a life and death situation. The police have no mandate to protect you. And we've talked about this in a previous book review. The Most Dangerous Superstition by Larkin Rose. And by the way, if you haven't seen Larkin Rose's movie that he wrote called The Jones Plantation, I'm going to put that website in the description of this video too, because that movie, I just watched it last night. It's phenomenal. I'm trying not to cuss. That movie is, I mean, the cinematography is just gorgeous. The actors are like so much better than most of the actors I see on like Netflix, you know, like cheese balls. Like Netflix is just putting out cheese ball sitcoms, bro. The Jones Plantation is top tier film. It's just excellent. If you haven't seen that movie, go get it. Go buy it. Buy the poster. Actually, buy the poster and send it to my address because I really want one of those posters. They look awesome. So, read Warren versus District of Columbia for a good education on the nature of law enforcement. You know, like I said, this case was brought up in the book review that we did on Larkin Rose's book, The Most Dangerous Superstition. And so, a gun that you purchased through a voluntary transaction is your property. And nobody has the right to take away your property. It's that simple. It's really that simple. If you purchased it through a voluntary interaction, doesn't matter if you had to do a background check or whatever, it's still your property. Nobody can take away your property. It's really that simple. It's not rocket science, people. Come on now. Come on now. So day 6, a barrel of rotten apples. If you can't trust people with freedom, how can you trust them with power? Page 14. Enough said. Shut the camera off. Here's another direct quote. Day 7, no people have ever voted their way to liberty. Again, not rocket science, pretty simple. Here's the direct quote. It's amazing how many humans believe that they are so much more evolved than animals. We look upon traps that are laid for seemingly intelligent creatures and shake our heads at how they can fall for them. When will they learn? These are the same people that fall into the same trap year after year, election cycle after election cycle. You can't vote your way to freedom. That's stupid. It's illogical. And then you turn around and wonder why there's so much suffering in the world. You turn around and wonder why there's a war in the Middle East right now. Again. Like I said, people who do not study history are doomed to repeat it. There are kids being killed over in the Middle East right now. Children! It's deplorable. So I've used I've used a lot of quotes directly from the book. So I obviously highly recommend this book. It is hilarious. 10 out of 10. Day 8. We know Day 8. Know who the real thieves are. now I'm just kind of blowing through it now. And then I skipped a couple days, and I went to day 10. The rights double standard. When government does it versus when the individual does it. So when I do it, if I go, point a gun to somebody, threaten them with violence, and say if you don't pay me X amount of your paycheck, you're going to lose your house. If I did it, that's called armed robbery. If the government does it, it's called taxation. Again, so if I go into somebody's house, kidnap them, and say I'm going to throw you in a cage because you broke this arbitrary man-made law that doesn't make any sense, and throw you in a cage, if I do it, that's kidnapping. If the government does it, it's called arrest. If I do it, or no, I'll go the other direction. If a politician says that he's going to lower taxes and let's say legalize cannabis, he's going to lower taxes and legalize cannabis. When a politician does it, it's called making a campaign promise. If I were to do something like that and not follow through, it's called lying. If I do it, it's called lying. So if I go out and if I buy a gun and I go to any location on the planet and I start killing people and Ramboing entire villages, and doesn't matter what location on the planet, it's called, when I do it as an individual, it's called mass murder. When the government does it, it's called war. Double standards, man. The rights double standards. So again, the direction he takes us to the memes, once you get to day 31, it's awesome. It's so synchronistic the way he wrote it, and yeah, it's amazing. I love it. It made me laugh a lot. I love this book. You need to go buy it. Buy it. So day 12, obedience is not a virtue. I don't need to elaborate anymore on that. Obedience is not a virtue, y'all. Take off your dunce cap, man. Put on your thinking cap. Obedience is not a virtue. Day 13. I will end with what I see. Oh, here's another direct quote. I will end with what I see is the major reason why we will never see a revolt, and while the status quo is kept. People fear loss. Yeah, that's the truth. People fear loss. And I'm not even talking about violent uprising here. What would happen if 10 million people refused to pay taxes? What would happen? Answer the question. What could they do? End quote. And so, I guess I'm gonna wrap it up with a sticky note. Like I said, this is one of those books I want to do every day. I want to do all these memes because I think they are so important to understand, and it's thought-provoking stuff. It's good. You need to think about this stuff. Get your mind going. Get the creative juices flowing. Get you thinking. It's good. It's good to think sometimes. Do it while it's still legal, right? So I sticky note page 35 because I think this is very important. So hopefully I can get it. Hopefully I get it to focus in for you guys. I can't see it. Hopefully you guys can read it. But if you can't, I'll read it anyway. So there's a meme of a guy. There's a bunch of soldiers doing the Hitler thing that I do not want to do on camera. So it says, look at this unpatriotic traitor. If he hates his country so much, he needs to GTFO. I've had this conversation with so many people. I would be a billionaire. I would be hanging out with Jeff Bezos if I had a nickel for every time I've had this conversation. If you don't like the laws, get out. Okay, so you support migration. But at the same time, these people who say that, they'll say, "Oh, we need that wall. We need Trump to build that wall." But it just gets me so frustrated. It makes me brain fart. I can feel the dumb flowing through me when I have conversations like this. Look at this unpatriotic traitor. If he hates his country so much, he needs to leave. It's not that easy. Just trust me, I would if I could. Because now if you want to leave the country, you need to get a passport, right? You need to pay money. You need to pay money to get a passport. You need to have background checks. You need to get your vaccine. You need to get the sauce. You need to get your body, R-word, get injected with something that you have no idea what is in there. And they don't even put the ingredients on the vaccines. It's just so much. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to read this page, and then we're going to close out this book review. I hope you guys made it to this far. So I think that, again, this story is very important, and if we had the editing software, I could just put the meme right on the screen, but we don't have the software. So next year when I do these 30-day book reviews and I re-review all the reviews we've already done, it'll be top notch. So anyways, this is a popular picture that has been memed 1,000 ways in recent history, but most people don't know the actual story behind the man portrayed. According to his daughter, his name was August Landmesser, and he was a worker at a shipyard in Hamburg, Germany. On the 13th of June 1936, the Nazi Party was celebrating the maiden launch of a naval training ship, and the workers were to be gathered to salute the occasion. What most people who see this picture do not know is that by this date, August had a falling out with the Nazi Party over the fact that he was having a relationship with a Jewish woman named Irma Eckler. His love for Irma was illegal, and soon after he was sent to prison and later drafted into penal military service, where he was killed in action. Irma was sent to a concentration camp where it is assumed that she was killed, as there is no record of her afterwards. August's story is a powerful one, which raises the question, in the face of similar circumstances, what would you do? Does liberty mean so much to you that you would be willing to make great sacrifices for it? Or would you rather be comfortable, safe, and one of the masses? When people who allegedly love freedom mock you because you point out the failings of the government system and tell you, if you don't like it, leave, what would you do? Choose well. And I'll try to get this meme up here on the camera because it's very important. Oh, and it might be backwards too. So I'm sure you've probably seen it on the internet. But yeah, so I think that was an awesome meme to wrap up to. I mean, it's kind of bittersweet because that's kind of dark. But yeah, this book is just phenomenal. Actually, I'll find another one. Maybe try to end it on a more positive note. Right here. It's The Shining. You can see Wendy right there. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft. My roads. Alright, so thank you if you made it this far. The next book will be The Musical Truth, Volume 1 by Mark Devlin. So this one, I'm going to try to have it out by the end of December, but this is the biggest book we have tackled on this channel so far. It's 523 pages. So stay tuned for the next book review. You're going to learn a lot. If you like music, it's going to be Jim Morrison. You're going to learn about Elvis. You're going to learn about the military-industrial complex. It's going to be awesome. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Read books.